especially with our IULs right now, you guys are like the number one leg that we have, if you want to call it a leg. But as far as in Family First, you guys are producing more than anyone and you're growing faster than anyone. So really appreciate it. I'm really excited to be on here today to tell you a little bit more. And again, demystify. I love that word, to demystify F&G to your agents and let them know why to start writing more with us.
Hello, everybody. Grady Paulson, Family First Live America. Beyond excited today to have Larry Mallek on with us from F&G. He is the head IUL sales trainer and also an industry, I wouldn't even say veteran, because your life has evolved from just in the past, was it 8 years you were doing? And we can touch on that. But in the past 8 years, he's taken himself from a new person as a producer, and he's now championing the future of F&G's IUL production, and they're one of the trendsetters out in the entire industry. So had an absolute blast spending some time with him, and just all around great guy, and also focused on doing all he can to help FFL become the #1 sales shop at F&G. And we want to help him get there, and we want to get there too. So without further ado, Larry, great to have you on. Thank you for your time, and we're looking forward to learning more about your products.
Thanks, Grady. I appreciate it. Really excited to be able to come on to your group so fast after meeting you in person the first time out in Phoenix, and just a great event. Just if you did miss that event, you should be ashamed of yourself. Don't ever miss another one, because it was fantastic. I got to actually sit in and listen to some of the agents speak out there, and I tell you what, it's the right room to be in, and it's just incredible what you guys are doing out there. And especially with our IULs right now, you guys are like the #1 leg that we have, if you want to call it a leg. But as far as in Family First, you guys are producing more than anyone and you're growing faster than anyone. So really appreciate it. I'm really excited to be on here today to tell you a little bit more. And again, demystify. I love that word, to demystify F&G to your agents and let them know why to start writing more with us.
Awesome. Yeah, we've seen just company-wide, we've been very, not to say that we didn't want to focus on it, but we're simple creatures, right? We're really good producers. We're really good at working hard. And when there's a plethora of mortgage protection leads, and you can just show up and sell a cashback CBO term, and it's simple, they understand living benefits, they understand they get their money back. We've got agents that were just, they were just happy. They were very happy, right? But they were just happy, right? And then so, the economy changes. There's a massive depression in refinances, HELOCs, and new mortgages, which drives our lead accessibility to the floor. So we've got phenomenal producers, and the thought process is, well, do we just stop making money, or should we pivot? And so, what's been great in our entire company, there's been this massive transition towards really elevating the producer from someone that just kind of goes in there and sells term and cashback CBO and living benefits to, let's talk about tax-free retirement income. Let's talk about saving some money and really creating a legacy type product that's going to take care of you and your family forever, not just pay off the mortgage. And mortgage protection is amazing. We all love it, but it's really adding on this caveat for the clients that it fits, right? If the income's tight and the budget isn't there, we can't really save $500 or $1,000, $2,000 a month, right? But for those clients that this fits, it's been great over the past few months to a year to really see the evolution. I know Zach Podolsky's done a tremendous job. Our SRS team, Simple Retirement Solutions, is really adopting it. And we know, just as we talk about it more, we're just equipping agents with the knowledge that these are things you have available to sell, because there's companies out there, acronym-based companies, that they only lead with IULs. And it's kind of like our second option. So it's kind of like we want to move it from option 2 and 3 to like 1B. Like, let's just have a 1B here, so we know, based on the situation, we don't need to like take a bunch of time to really think it. Let's just continue to educate our sales force. So as you run these situations, you go immediately like this, a whole life for a term isn't ideal for you. You make X amount of dollars. An IUL be more ideal for your situation. Now, let me tell you why. So that's why I'm so stoked for you to be on here and on our continued relationship with all of our IUL carriers. but even more so with F&G.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And you know what you're doing is you're setting your agents up for the future. You know you have you're basically making them more recession proof, market proof, all that kind of stuff. If they have all these options that they can go into, like even on a final expense lead, this is kind of how I lead into it, because a lot of people just will run final expense and they stop at that. And there's no reason to stop when you have a final expense lead. You have a grandma or grandpa, they probably have 5 or 6 grandkids that you can sell an IUL to, a juvenile IUL. And if you don't know about it, you don't sell it, right? So we're in the process of the largest wealth transfer in the history of the United States. For the next 30 years, over $30 trillion is going to be transferred from one generation to the next. And an IUL is a fantastic vehicle to put that money in. So yeah, you're definitely creating a sales force out there that has way more ammunition than average. So without further ado, I just wanted to let you guys know too as well. Amy Bruce, who is my internal, she is on this call as well. So she wanted to sit in just to get to meet you guys, and I'll give her contact information will pop up here in a second. And I'm going to share my screen.
Please drop a hi, Amy, in the chat below. Let's make her feel welcome. A little hi, Amy. Let's see what the sales see.
And if Christo's on here, Christo, she already said Christo's my guy, just so you know. He claimed to be our biggest advocate out in Phoenix, and as of right now, I have no other evidence elsewise. So so I appreciate him. But let me get my slideshow started, and just want to see if I can share my screen real quick here. Can you see that okay?
Perfect.
All right, awesome. All right, so experience the power of collaborative thinking. Why F&G Life with FFL America? Very simple. Okay, so we have quite a few reasons why you want to start selling F&G. So that's what our agenda is, why F&G, and then why our fixed index universal life partnership, and then how to partner with F&G. Just a real brief history about us. We've been around since 1959. So we're not new to the arena at all, but we have had some major growth in the last 3 or 4 years. So if you look at the more recent things, I'd say like right during COVID in 2020, we became part of Fidelity National Financial. I had no idea who that was when I joined up. You probably don't know unless you've done a mortgage recently, but Fidelity National Financial is the largest title company in the United States. By leaps and bounds over. So they're a Fortune 500 company, absolutely massive. So we have access to all their wonderful things that they have. We actually spun off and went completely, we became an IPO in 2022. So we actually have FG as our symbol, our stock symbol on the New York Stock Exchange. And today we're continuing to grow and collaborate with other people. So our merger with F&F gave us a huge and strong and stable owner. We'll still operate completely independent. We have a relationship with Blackstone Insurance Solutions. In case you don't know who Blackstone is, they're one of the largest providers of financial services in the world. We also have a new BlackRock index on our fixed index annuity that is coming available, and hopefully we'll get that on our IUL next year. So tremendous relationships with these extremely large and powerful companies.
So you're stable. You guys are financially stable. Is
what financially stable, right? We are not going anywhere.
Now, how do I know this company's not going to go under and take all my money? Well, they've got billions of dollars, Dolores. They're going to be okay.
Yes, exactly. So, and some people like to I know it's one of the arguments that we get against us with a company like NLG is that they're privately owned, right? They don't have to answer to shareholders or stuff, And my argument is, hey, look, I would rather have the transparency of a publicly traded company, because I know, where they're sitting financially. If I need to go look at, their sales report for the year, it's publicly available. Where some people like that ability. Hey, look, these guys have their own stock ticker symbol, right? So you can see how they're doing. To me, that's a major benefit to be a publicly traded company. Here's our sales team. I'm dead center in the middle, obviously. My name is Larry Mallek. Ben Holmes is my boss. He's our national accounts vice president. And then Amy Bruce, the wonderful Amy Bruce, I should say. She is our senior internal wholesaler. I'm on the road a lot. Grady can attest to that. But, Amy is usually available in front of her computer where she can help you with illustrations, help you with training, all that, any kind of questions that you have. She is a great go-to. She is a tremendous asset to the team. And she has FFL and just one other account. So we're really focused on helping you guys grow. Our portfolio, I want to go over just two products today. The PathSetter and the ExecuDex. The Everlast is a great product. It's more for long-term death benefit than anything. But these are the three that we have currently that we really focus on. The PathSetter is going to be their main one. And I'm going to touch on ExecuDex just because there's been questions about that as well. So why F&G? Number one, our products perform. And as an agent, when I was selling things, the one thing that I would always dread is, oh, when the annual review comes around, what's going to happen when I have to look at this guy's annual policy statement and say, oh God, it didn't do anywhere near what I told him it was going to do. So for an agent, when they sell our product, they don't have that fear because our policies outperform the illustrations 99% of the time. They're very high performing. We have a strong cap history, 12% always. And we do everything that we can as a company to never change our caps. Our performance driven variable loan rate, it is capped at 5%. It will never, ever go above 5%, right? So with the high interest rates now, it is at 5%, but when it drops down, back in 2 or 3 years ago, it was 3.5%. The great thing that you can tell your client is it'll never go above that, right? It's contractual. So that's a very strong thing when you're taking money out for, cash at retirement, you're never going to have a higher than a 5% loan rate. And then we have some proprietary volatility controlled indexes like our Barclays Trailblazer that are just what I can say is they're just unmatched. They're so excellent, and their past performance proves it. It's just amazing the way that these things are structured. We have a great suite of living benefits. I think some of the best that are available. Some of our living benefits come with absolutely no condition periods, so you have access to them immediately. And we have exam-free underwriting. And a lot of people say they have exam-free underwriting. I will tell you a little bit in a little bit, like we have exactly exam-free underwriting. So let's dive into the PathSetter real quick. This is the product you're going to use, I would say 90% of the time, especially with juveniles. Like I love to push juvenile IUL. If you've never sold an IUL before, the easiest one you can do is a juvenile, because you're not talking huge money, and you're not talking, you're talking, you got so much time for this thing to grow that you can show an incredible return on these things. But the PathSetter is from ages 0 to 80. $50,000 minimum death benefit. Again, the variable loans fixed at 5%. And then, the account value enhancements are what really set this apart. So you get a 1% bonus in policy years 2+. And then you also will have a 0.25% persistency bonus beginning in the 11th policy year on all strategies. So when we say 0 is your hero, we always like to say that with IULs, but actually with us, it's 1.25% is your hero, because that's going to be your floor for the majority of the time that you have this policy. Okay. And then we also have this no lapse guarantee of 15 years with a minimum premium. So we can set that up as well. Here's our index crediting options. Right now, I can tell you the only two that I ever recommend that we ever really use are the number one on here, the S&P 500, 1-year point-to-point, 12% cap. The illustrator rate 7.23%, and then our Barclays Trailblazer. So what I don't want you to do is look at this 5.84% and say, ooh, that's not great. Because number one, it's 170% participation rate, and there's a 1% bonus on there starting year 2. So that really kicks into effect, and you can show some amazing returns with that account. If you look at the look back inside the illustration, it'll show a 9.48% annual average return for the Barclays. So amazing performance on there. and just a tremendous index strategy. When we do our illustrations, we split these 50-50 automatically, just as a basic. You can choose to change that change that percentage on your own. But we always like to, just kind of shows what kind of company we are. We're not trying to put our very, very best foot forward, because if we were, we do 100% in the Barclays. We're more concerned about our clients getting a really good average balanced return for the future. So we're not trying to say, oh, we're the greatest in everything, because we could absolutely destroy other companies' illustrations if we did 100% in the Barclays. We're more concerned about, you as an agent and them as a client being happy with what they choose. Okay. And so the power of interest crediting, if you know anything about IULs, if you know anything about investments and stock and multiplications of, interest, this is kind of just like a refresher course for you. We obviously know that it's great to have time to grow these things. The Barclays is a volatility control index. It's got a 5% target level, so it never wants to be that far above 5% or that far below 5%. And then with the bonuses and everything, it really turns into a tremendous thing. And we all know about the S&P. We do offer a fixed account. I don't think anyone's ever used it. So let's just go over like a real quick scenario with a 10-pay accumulation in income. We have a 45-year-old female, standard non-tobacco, $20,000 in annual premiums. They're going to pay them for 10 years. We're going to take out variable loans from ages 65 to 90, so 25 years. And then we're going to do the Barclays index here. And a death benefit option is obviously increasing when we start, and we switch it to option A at age 55. We're going to solve for minimum non-MEC death benefit. This is just kind of a snapshot of what they'll get. So total premiums paid in, $200,000. The starting death benefit, $402,000. And then the cash accumulation at age 65 is projected to be $436,000. The total projected income with all the disbursements with the policy loans of $45,000 will be $1.1 million. So even someone at 45 years old paying aggressively on something like this can turn it into a tremendous source of retirement income. Just remember this, this $45,000 is tax-free retirement. Okay, we're not paying taxes on any of that. It's a loan against the death benefit. So if you want to kind of relate that to what she would have to make in the market, you're probably closer to 80,000 is what she would have to make in order to be able to take taxes out of that. A brief overview of our living benefit riders. We have a critical illness rider. Up to 100% of the death benefit can be accelerated. Critical illness, critical sickness, whatever you want to call it. It's anything like a heart attack, stroke, organ transplant, paralysis, ALS, those kinds of things. Anything that comes on suddenly, that kind of thing. We have that, and we also have our terminal illness rider, again, up to 100% of the death benefit. And then the expected loss of life is 24 months or less. Some of them are 12 months out there. So this one gives you a little bit more time to get your affairs in order if you do have a terminal claim, unfortunately. And then, of course, our chronic illness, which is, I think, the most important out of all of the living benefits, because I think we would probably use this more than anything else. Up to 25% of the death benefit on a yearly basis. So if we want to go up to 25%, we can do it the maximum for 4 years in a row and exhaust the entire death benefit. And it's basically anything that cannot perform the 2 of the 6 ADLs or severe cognitive impairment like Alzheimer's disease, dementia, those things like that. So, we don't specify Alzheimer's, we don't specify dementia. It's anything severe cognitive impairment. So anything that affects the brain is covered under a chronic illness.
This is one of the best benefits of insurance. And we often, gloss over and talk about death benefit, or we talk about getting your cash back. But the fact that you said the words correct, you said the words, and it's like, I get sick and now I don't have to just wait for these big check to go to my wife when I die. You allow me to take the money and use it for what I see fit or what we see fit as a household. And one of the stories I used to tell in the home was a true story from one of my friends. I had a friend, he got pancreatic cancer and he's 39, 4 kids, wonderful person. And he came down with pancreatic cancer out of nowhere because he had a policy with living benefits. He was able to pull the money out and go down to Houston and get like a special treatment process that wasn't under insurance and wasn't covered. And he got it in probably his mid-30s, and they gave him like 12 months to live, and he extended his life 4 years because of living benefits inside of his insurance policy. And so guys, if you're not slamming living benefits to your clients, and you don't have this on yourself to protect yourself and your family from the tragedies that life brings, that's what's called a tragedy or an accident, because we're not looking for it, we're not looking forward to it, we don't expect it, it just happens. This is how we protect ourselves and protect our families. And I mean, dude, to see 100% on critical, 100 on terminal, and then the way you explained chronic, I mean, it's
technically 100% on chronic. It's just 25% per year.
Yeah, where's your money, Betty? Oh, it's in the bank. It's safe in the bank. So if you get sick, do you get the death benefit and access? Do you get all this stuff, on top of what you get in an IUL? And so it's just, I love seeing that. It was just how to chime in because it's just a phenomenal added benefit that exists.
Yeah. And it's a very sad story with your friend, but I mean, how priceless are those extra 4 years that he got to spend with his wife?
Kids, he got to kiss his wife and hug his kids and all the things for extra 4 years because
and get affairs in order and all that stuff. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. But yes, living benefits, I think, and all your good companies have them. NLG has great living benefits. I think Assurity has great living benefits. So it's kind of an industry standard now. And I thank goodness for it, right? But I know that ours are unbelievably, all encompassing. And the other thing is that there's no elimination period on chronic illness and that kind of thing. So you don't have to wait 90 days before you can actually even make a claim and prove that you have chronic illness, that kind of thing. So our process as far as getting them in place is very quick. Okay, this is what really excites me: exam-free underwriting. How many people love to schedule an exam for their clients, right? So nobody does. Nobody likes to say, oh yeah, we have this great exam-free process, but maybe about 40% of you are still going to have to go and get blood and urine or have someone come to your house and stick you with a needle. No one likes that, right? So when we say exam free, we mean exam free. So if you see over 99% are exam free, I don't even know if I've ever seen one that was required to do an exam, unless it's an absolutely ridiculous scenario with the most severe medical history, which probably is not going to get approved, I would say. Anyway, so I would love to put 100% on there. I guess that's a legal thing that we can't say 100%. But if you're age 0 through 60 and your face amount's under $1 million, it's going through exam free. Okay, it's not a wait and see. Hey, we'll do your application, we'll look at your MIB, and then we're going to go make you take an exam. Never. It's not going to happen. All right. The worst thing we're going to do is we're going to give you a telephone interview. And the second worst thing we'll do is we'll ask for an APS report if you have a severe medical history. So those things. So there's 2 reasons we'll ask for APS: if your medical history is very severe, or if you lie on your application. So make sure your clients are telling the truth. It's really hard, I know, as an agent, to make sure that they're telling the truth to you. And it's it's one of the hardest things. I wish we could have lie detectors on the phone calls, but we can't do that just yet. But those are the reasons. So people get mad at us for ordering an APS. I'm like, yeah, but the guy never told us he had cancer 2 years ago. So we might have to, right? So I apologize in advance for any APSs you'll get with us, but there's reasons for that. And it still beats going to an exam and getting an exam schedule and all that other garbage. So 50% of our exam-free applications are approved in 5 days or less. And so we're working on getting that to a much quicker process. Again, why this? It's great from an agent perspective. Number one, we pay the highest commissions to FFL. 20% higher than
Hold
NLG.
on.
And
Wait a
wait,
second.
what?
Repeat
Did
that.
you say?
Speaking to my good ear. Back that up. What?
Wait. We pay 20%, 20 points higher than NLG, according to Christo. And I'll take his word for it because he pushes us more than anyone.
Could you drop
So,
a 20 in the chat below, guys, just to show Larry some love for paying us 20% more? We love all of our carriers, but someone's got to choose to pay us the most.
right. So if you want a pay increase, then you know what to do. If you want to give yourself an instant raise, that's a pretty significant raise. If you write $1 million in IUL next year, that's a $200,000 pay raise, right? Right, Grady? Is that my
Yeah.
math right? Yeah.
Let me carry the one. Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, so that's number one, the best pay in the industry. The number two thing is like you don't have to constantly look over your shoulder. Your product's going to perform. Your clients are going to be extremely happy. If you put our illustrations side by side with anybody else that you sell, we are going to be number one or number two in almost every single scenario, every single age group, gender, everything. Okay, so it's going to be a very high performing product that you have to offer. Again, accelerated benefits, exam-free underwriting, and to me, one of the key things on this slide is the very last check mark, the partnership and support that we have. We have over 10 agents that sit on the phone just waiting to take your call in our internal sales team. And we have someone like Amy Bruce, who is just so knowledgeable and so excellent at helping you get business pushed through and helping you learn a little bit more about how to sell these and the key points to these policies. All right, I'm gonna go rogue on you because nobody knows about this product. We don't push it a lot internally, but the one thing that I do know is that someone says, "Well, you guys don't have any instant issue." I'm like, "Yes, we do. It's called the ExecuDex." Okay, and Grady might not even know about this. I don't know. I mean, it's a possibility.
Always learning.
Oh, he's always learning, right? So we have this product that's been out for a little bit, and again, we don't really push it too much because it is kind of I would say it's more niche than anything. But it's the first of its kind that we offer. It's a point of sale decision, so we got instant approval on it. You have the potential for top market accumulation, and it's it's an IUL, so it's permanent protection. All right. So what we do is we look at this. We have the instant approval, the same instant approval that we have on our juveniles currently by using the Wizard application on your portal. Okay. So it's called the new Wizard application. So you can select ExecuDex on there, and then you will have at the end of the application process, you'll have in minutes a yes or no decision on this. Okay. So very similar to like the IULE with Mutual of Omaha. Okay, so you have that option to get an instant decision. It has what's called a funding bonus rider that'll deliver cash accumulation and potential with medically underwritten products. So this is one of those express approvals. So it's not like preferred or standard or anything like that. It's just an express approval, but we make up for it by adding a rider in there that gives a bonus for that. We have up to $1 million in coverage. It includes terminal and chronic, but no critical on this one. Okay, so we call it ExecuDex because it's kind of designed for executives and that kind of thing. People with a little higher net worth, that want to fund it really fast. And once they do that, it's a tremendous performing product. It is fully underwritten. It's basically all these things that lead up to this instant approval. So it's never an exam. And then, it's basically an instant decision type of product. This is where we're moving with everything right now. But right now, this is the one product we have that will do this. So some of the details on here, again, no juveniles for this one. It's just 18 to 60. Okay. So we're just really narrowing down the options for this. The minimum face amount's 150. The max is $1 million. Okay, so again, you're talking about people with a little bit more money that can put into here. And then we have 2 risk classes only: express non-tobacco and express tobacco. We have the Barclays still. We have the S&P, and then the account value enhancement rider in years 11 plus, the 0.25%. So all of the things are very, very similar to the PathSetter as far as performance wise. So one of the cool things that this one has that the PathSetter does not have is called a high and low funding level and bonus interest credits. So the bonus interest credits to me is the really key to this product. So it's payable in policy years 11 through 30. If they reach the high bonus level, they'll get a high bonus range of 0.75 to 2.1% based on that. And then if they are in the low bonus range, without front loading the policy, it'd still be 0.38 to 1% extra from years 11 to 30. So those are really the growth years. So if you think of somebody that's like, say, look at this example, right? A 40-year-old female, express non-tobacco. It's a high bonus rate of 1%. A 55-year-old, a high bonus would be 1.1. So it's just based on age and how much they fund it with. But again, the instant approval process is really simple. It basically is just, it allows them to get instantly approved and sign it and pay for it the same day. So you have the potential to do that with this product. The pre-screen questionnaire is really kind of what's going to weed them out. It's 11 simple yes or no questions. They answer yes to any of the questions. It's not the right fit. You move on. So what I would do is I would have the pre-screen questionnaire pulled up if you think this person might be a candidate for this. And it's really simple. It's not that complicated. It's not really, they don't have to be the healthiest person in the world. It helps if they're somewhat healthy, but they can still have well-controlled diabetes. They can still have certain conditions and still get access to this product. So I can send Grady just the questionnaire just to, so make sure you have access to that. It is on our Sales Link portal where you have access to that is right. But to me, this is the easiest thing. You answer 11 questions, medical questions, felony questions, that kind of thing, any kind of history like that, and height and weight. And if it's a fit, it's a fit. If it's not, you move on to the PathSetter. But super easy. The decision is, you take section 1, they do the signature. This is just like the Wizard application. So section 1 is your HIPAA release and authorization. They'll sign that, they'll go back and they'll do the application. And then they'll sign that if they get approved. You submit it and you'll find out immediately if they're approved or not. So very, very simple. It's as easy as a cup of coffee, we like to say on that. The interest crediting options are much more limited on this one, but again, they're the two best that we have anyway. So you'll see that the par rate on the Trailblazer is 190. So we actually have bumped the par rate up on this one. And then the S&P is still, we kind of lowered the cap on the S&P to kind of make up for that at 11%. Still has the living benefits all included. Actually this one, I apologize, it was on the wrong slide. So it actually still does have critical on this one too. So the exact same living benefits. I think they changed that recently. Now partnering with F&G, this is a relationship business to me. Everyone's like, oh, you sell life insurance. I'm like, not really. I kind of sell myself to the agents, and then the agents ask me about my product, right? So to me, it's all about relationship building and meeting people and getting to know them, getting to know what their needs are and that kind of thing. Just like when I was an agent, the most important thing to me was finding out about my client. What's really your why? Why do you want this insurance? What are your true needs? When are your kids graduating college? When, all these things, all these questions I would ask people and that you guys ask people. You guys are the masters at Family First of developing a need and a why with your clients, because guess what? If they know that why, their policies stay in force, right? So it's easy to sell something, but it's hard to make it stick. Sales Link is our agent portal. If you've never been on this before, I think it's wonderful. It's very, very simple to use. You have everything you need kind of on one page. So under your business, you can see all of your business. Under your agents, if you have an agency, you can see your agent's business. You have access to the products, the sales tools, all the forms, Under sales tools, you'll run illustrations. Under the forms, you'll do your application. And then under your name up here, this is a really key point because actually one of your agents out in Phoenix did this right in front of me. He was brand new contracted agent. He's like, hey, my upline told me to go do this. And you go into your account, and then there's options to get emails whenever there's a pending policy, whenever there's a new delivery requirement, anything that we get from underwriting, any kind of message that we'd send to you, you do have to opt in to receive those emails. So he did that right in front of me. He's like, oh, what the heck? I'll just click them all. And I'm like, that's perfect, because we won't overload your email box. But if there's something important, some line of communication that you need, make sure you go under there and select that. If you're already currently licensed with us, please go and do that as soon as you can. We want to make sure that your policies don't get stuck in underwriting, or that don't get stuck for some silly thing like, oh, we missed a signature on this page, or something happened, or we need this from you. So we want to make sure you get notified as soon as possible on that. And then we have this great site. If you want to take this website down, this is a tremendous resource for you guys. success.fglife.com/life-agent. So I don't know if I can copy and paste this into the chat. I might be able to. Or if China if you can type really fast and throw that in the chat. If you've never heard of us, or you're just learning all about us right now for the first time, this is where you want to go. It's got every product, everything laid out. It shows you everything. There's videos on our application process. There's videos on how to run an illustration. So it's just a tremendous resource for you if you're not able to get a hold of me or get a hold of Amy for some reason. Okay, so if we got that in the chat, that's fantastic. Grady, can you verify that? Because I can't see my screen.
It nailed it.
Oh, she's so good. Okay, I knew China was awesome, but all right. And then we also have an agent site for ExecuDex, but you can link to it right from there, so you don't even need this one, because you can just link to it from the other site. I want you to read all these disclosures really fast. Okay, very good. Good job, guys. And that's the that's the end of the show. So.
That was awesome, Larry. Wow, what a it's exciting to have. It's like new toys, right? You get new toys, you get to play with them, and then
Christmas morning.
Hopefully the kids don't, break them, and then other kids get to play with them, and that's really what we're doing. We're all sharing our new toys, and I know we've been partnering with you for some time now, but you and I got the chance to connect at our recent event, and then now to be able to kind of bring it out and say, hey, we've got this other option too, but we need to be talking about making sure we're putting our clients in the best situation. And also, if it's apples to apples, but this apple's 20% bigger, then that's a cool option as well to understand that you as the agent, as long as we're doing what's best for the client, this is just contracts that we're negotiating on our behalf to be able to compensate us more. Sounds like makes sense to me. Right. So,
and you're doing the best. I mean, obviously, certain situations we might not be the best fit for a client, but if you're comparing two illustrations side by side, we're going to win 99% of the time. We're just, our performance and our cost of structure is so good that your cash value at 60, let's say we're comparing cash value at 65, right? Because number one, we want that there for tax-free retirement. And then we also want to look at how big is the death benefit grown to by that age, because that's what's going to help you with your living benefits. So what's good of having living benefits if you don't have a decent cash or a decent death benefit to pull from on those as well?
Agreed.
So you can make more money, your clients can be in a better position 30 years from now.
I don't want the death benefit. I want the cash value. I don't want anyone to get the death benefit for any time in the near 4 decades. Or
right.
Shit, did I just kill myself? I
mean,
8 decades. My kids they'd just go buy candy.
My wife keeps saying that you're having a midlife crisis. I'm like, I hope so.
Yeah.
I'll live to be 104 then. That's great.
Healthier than ever. Keep taking my vitamins, but no, it's exciting, guys, to have this in our tool belt, right? And so for all of you, reach out to your contracting manager and say, please verify I'm contracted with F&G. We want the PathSetter and the ExecuDex. ExecuDex.
Right.
X.
Yep.
Like Elon Musk. ExecuDex.
Exactly. And the ExecuDex will be a temporary patch until we get instant approval on the PathSetter. Then that's going to probably take over. We may, sunset that product eventually. So just so you know, we're working towards the first quarter of next year to have instant approval for the PathSetter as well. We have it currently on juvenile cases. If you're using the Wizard app, instant approval on juveniles. So you can get those issued very, very quickly.
Give me
And Rusty asked a question about what you're giving up with the ExecuDex. Basically, you're giving up the option to get like preferred ratings. So if someone's not going to get a preferred anyway, if they're going to probably get more standard because they may have some medical conditions, you're really not giving up much of anything there. Just a few more, options when it comes to index strategies, and then performance-wise. If you fund an ExecuDex the same way you fund a PathSetter, the PathSetter will win. Like the lower premiums over 30 or 40 years. If you fund an ExecuDex aggressively, like the 5 to 7 year type of funding, compared to a PathSetter, the ExecuDex will win performance-wise. And I just suggest run a couple different illustrations on each different product and look side by side and see what the results are.
Reach out to Amy. She'll love to help you. But questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
The easiest kind of, the appetizer of IULs would be a juvenile IUL, if you will. And we call this, the fillet would be, a $5,000 a month IUL, right? But to start, a good place to start for all of you to, as you're like, do I go term CBO? Do I go whole life? Do I try that IUL thing that I'm nervous about? A good starting point, like I would always, because we just weren't IUL focused, I've added hundreds of children's whole lives over the years because it's a super simple explanatory app, et cetera. So, but if you had a couple hundred agents and thousands that'll watch over the next little bit of time that would love to like start selling IULs, and let's just focus just for this training segment or period, what is some, amounts for a 1 to 3 year old, right? We're looking 1 to 5 year old juvenile IULs. How much what should they be looking at for premiums? Could it kind of create for death benefit? What could we, and again, ballpark, we're not going to hold you to it, not going to print it in the press, but what does that look like as agents right now are going, how can I quickly, I've got hundreds of clients that I've sold policies to, hit them back up with a new option as they start to really progress in their IUL journey?
I'd say $50 a month.
Okay, $50 a month.
Yeah, that's a great starting point. It's going to get them, close to $100,000 in death benefit, and then it can grow if you continue to do that. It can grow into a tax-free retirement if they hold it that long, if that was the only policy they had. But again, it's going to be maybe more. I can't remember the last time I quoted a juvenile or like a children's whole life policy. What, $15,000, $25,000 face amount? Is that what they usually hover at?
5 to 50 usually, yeah.
Yeah, 5 to 50, right. So, what good are those 30, 40 years from now? Those, to me, those are more for the parents than they are the kids, because a 50,000, even the maximum $50,000 death benefit isn't going to really help that kid into the future, right? It's not providing guaranteed insurability because he's going to need more than that coverage if he ever has a family, and it's not really doing much for cash value accumulation. So if you can start them roughly, if one of those $50,000 children's whole life is around $50 a month, just plug $50 a month into an IUL and see what it turns into.
If it's giving you 100,000 in death benefit, that's double.
It's double immediately. Yeah, immediately double right away, and then an increasing death benefit at that. So it's going to increase to much better scenario. We run a scenario with juvenile IULs for $200 a month, and that's pretty aggressive, right? And
sure.
we cap our
Depends how much you love your kids. I don't know.
Exactly. If you
love your kids.
Yeah, or your kid, or grandma loves their kids, or grandchildren.
Grandma love your kids. Okay.
Right. But that death benefit starts at $200,000. We show it building up to at age 18, stopping payments so they can go to college. So 5 years off of payments. We take out about $83,000 of tax-free money to repay college loans. The child then takes that $200 a month because they have a job, hopefully, and they're off the payroll. They continue that policy. If they continue that policy to age 65, we're looking at about $133,000 of tax retirement for 25 years. Okay.
Another
If they
nine.
don't, if they don't take that disbursement at age 23 to pay college loans back for whatever reason, let's say they're super smart and get a full ride, you're looking at $233,000 of tax-free retirement at age 65. The total output is $5.5 million of tax-free retirement, and the total input is like $141,000.
It's incredible.
It's incredible. It is absolutely incredible because it's time, and I don't have that much time left, but your kids do. Your kids have time, and that's what's on their side.
Cameron had $5.7 million. He would just,
Yeah.
he would color on everything and then just pay the for. That's incredible. See, that's
how you make your kids millionaires right now. You can make them a millionaire right now.
How about you turn your kids into millionaires? Because
exactly.
I mean, there's all kinds of different ways to structure, but that's at $200. Imagine at 100, it'll just be half, and at 50, it'll be less than that. But it's still better than zero. That we're kind of, if we've got some savings funds or college. I love the college direction though, is to pay off the 83,000, pull that out or don't. But you guys we can set up ourselves, our families, but also our clients' families by showing them something through the PathSetter, quoting out juvenile IULs and getting that, that's an easy pitch, right? To show them something. I like easy to start, right? A very easy sell versus, hey, Bob, trust me, agent, you just met 30 minutes ago with your entire financial tax-free retirement income. Some of us are really good at sales, but some of us can just explain things that make sense really well. And then as we build that trust by getting a little hook in the household, by doing a juvenile, now how much does the family household make? And now we can move into $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 monthly policies with these households. Guys, this is
if you got 2 seconds, I'll share this. I'll share my screen. 2 seconds.
I got 240 seconds.
Perfect. All right. So you see this okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is a female juvenile. Here we go. If you look at this, it's let me zoom in a little bit. Get rid of this. You'll see a $200,000 face amount. Option B, switching to A in year 64. I think with this one, we didn't take out the lump sum at age 23.
Okay.
So let me go to page 10. And if you've ever seen a tabular detail, this is what page 10 is right here. Okay. So
100 a year planned.
Right. 200 a month, 2,400 a year. We did not take out the disbursement here. Normally the disbursement would be right here. Okay. But because I wanted to show, oh my God, what could it actually grow into if you don't take that money out? So we go down to age 65, and they're taking $220,000 out a year for 25 years with a death benefit that's over $2.7 million at age 65. 141,000 in, 5.5 million out.
Compound interest. Eighth one of the round.
Yeah, that's what it is. Time. Yep. But I mean, talk about setting this kid up. So let's say when they're, in their 30s or whatever, they start a family. They already have $450,000 of death benefit.
Does it have to go to my kids, or can I just use their young age and good?
Yes, and that's good. You'll be dead by then. Yeah, by the time they're 65, you're out. You're out. So.
All right, fine. I'll set them up. Can't touch another 6. They can't touch it though. I got to put in the trust. I'd have to get a century.
Yeah, I mean, and that's another thing. So I'm like, well, what if they just, stop paying for it? And yeah, I mean, you kind of have to show your kids what the potential is and how important it is to keep this in. And yeah, you can set up a trust as the owner. It's a fantastic option. That trust is ownership. So, you can fund that trust to help fund the policy, that kind of thing. So to make sure that it stays in force.
Incredible. Thank you so much, Larry, for digging in details. We guys, we'll probably send an email with Larry or Amy's info when we push this out live, but get in, right? Get in and play around, right? Grady, how do you get good at dialing the phone? You do it over and over and over and over and over and over again. How do you get good at running illustrations? You do them over and over and over again. And I'll tell you, running illustrations is a heck of a lot more fun than dialing the phone because no one's yelling at you. But running illustrations doesn't make you money, but it gives you confidence though when you start dialing the phone that you've got something powerful to offer the people that you're going to reach out there in our world. So, Larry, Amy, thank you for being in the chat. Larry, thanks, buddy. I appreciate you, man. This is fun to get to meet you, get to know you, and also all the value you bring to our agency. We're looking forward to really crushing with F&G the end of the year and then setting some records in 2024.
That sounds great. Hey,
Drop
we'll do
BYLM in the comments below real quick though to show Larry.
just so you know, we'll do a little tiny bonus. This is what I can offer right now, but whoever sells the most IULs in your team in the next from what is today, we'll just do the month of November. Okay, 30 days. We'll give them a $300 credit towards our new company store. We have some incredible swag in there. We've got Peter Millar stuff. We've got Patagonia stuff in there. We've got Stanley tumblers, all sorts of really cool stuff. We don't cheap out on that stuff. So $300 goes to the winning IUL writer.
I love it. We'll put it out there, man.
Family First America.
Love it, man. Well, thank you, Larry.
And it's recorded now, so I got to hold to my word.
Yeah,
so
we're gonna send it everywhere, so you're locked in. So.
I'm locked in.
All right, brother. Well, thank you for your time, and everybody out there, thank you for jumping on, joining us, and we'll see you next week. Take care, everybody.
Thank you, guys.